Check one. Whoa, that's hot. Check one, check one, check one, check one, check, check, check one, check one. Checkity check, check one, check one. Alright, I think that's good. Hi. Alright, so what are we doing today? I am...
Check one.
There we go, it's working.
Check one, check one, check.
Alright, I know it's working. Cool. I'll put my chat over here so I can actually see it. Alright. For those of you tuning in out of boredom, I'm bored too. It is winter. We finally got some snow. It melted and then went hard because the Arctic blast came in and now it's just shit outside. So I've been kind of hanging around the house, which sucks, and I'm bored. But anyway, needless to say, I am pitter-puttering with some stuff. So I'm starting to get into some robotics and playing with raspberries and Arduinos and all that stuff, which I'm late to the game, but I do networking and off-grid and renewables and generators and stuff. So this is kind of not an area that I've really gotten into yet. So the idea here is that since I'm starting to get into making robotics and whatnot, I always like having prototype boards. So anytime I'm working on stuff, I like to make sure that I have literally prototyping. I like to be able to, yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm up to. And I just realized that I screwed up here. I want this. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I can deal with that being right there, I guess. This is kind of like where all the ports are going to be for the Raspberry. Anyway, I can latch them down. Now that works out in my favor. So anyway, I'm just sitting here screwing around. Not really anything planned or whatever. So don't expect anything too fancy. Oh, and if you don't want to watch, don't watch. If you want to join me and hang out, sure, we can all be bored together. I got my glass of orange juice on the go here. Man-sized glass of orange juice. Let's see, I need another bowl. It's an amoeba. All right, there we go. So I've got some 3mm fine threads here so I can mount the Raspberry now. So the idea here is I've got a Geek Tech RGB fan on here for my project board because it's cool. And I'm going to mount the Raspberry over here. I wish I could have a shorter cable for my PWM, but whatever. It's not the end of the world. The idea is that I'll have my PWM right here so I can just connect stuff to it. I'm going to stick this guy over here. So that will allow me to tidy that up like so. Although I should probably have the PWM mounted up above to make it easier to get access to and get to the GPIO on this thing. Now, since this is literally just a lazy live stream, I'm not necessarily too concerned about audio quality or anything like that. My roommates are doing their thing too, so you're going to hear them in the background, so don't complain about that. Alright, so I'm going to start by the way, I've got the camera coming back a little bit this way so you can see when I'm overhanging a little bit. Well, let's do this. Got my little screws here. I'm going to start mounting these. Everything's falling on the floor because I'm a horrible slob. Here we go. Doing things the old-fashioned way. Because, you know, screwdrivers are good sometimes. There we go. These screws could be a little bit shorter, but hey, whatever. I'm gonna go kitty corner. Might have to put a washer in here. You know what, I'm going to. I mean, like, this does need to be rigid. I shouldn't be lazy with that, so. I need about 2 mils off of that, I think. Alright, so I do believe I've got some washers back over here. Where are my washers? got some 4mm washers, those will be more than enough. These two trays. And tweezers. These guys should work perfectly fine. So this is kind of a new experience for me as well, because I've got an actual chat window up now, so I can actually talk to people while I'm working. Which I must say, I'm a little bit anxious about that, because I'm sure that there's going to be all the "you're a faggot," "you're a dude" comments coming up on there, and it's like, yeah, thanks a lot. You are a degenerate. You are a hillbilly. Let's see. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Oops, I messed up. So this one here goes on like so. Oh, I'm just live streaming. Which doesn't mean that you guys have to be quiet or anything. It's just a casual live stream. I'm not really worried about quality. I figure if I'm going to sit here and do this long, boring build, if somebody's actually bored like me, they can actually jump on and watch, you know? Join me in my suffering. Of course that didn't work. Where's my magnet? There we go. I'm going to use my, let me pull the camera back a little bit because I'm working my lap. So I'm using a magnet here to position this washer, and looks like it's in. There we go. So I've got my OBS screen over here on the left, so if you see me looking over constantly, it's because I'm checking my live stream for chats and stuff. Let's see here. Oh, that works a little bit better. Alright, so I'm going to need one more washer. I think I dropped one. I'll grab that. I'll grab my drill bit while I'm down here. Hello, New Zealand. We got some Kiwis here. Hi. I'm also from the colonies. I'm in Canada. Little British joke there for you. All right, there we go. So let's, so here we go. So since you're just joining, I'll bring you up to speed as to what I'm doing. So this isn't some like high level live stream. I'm literally just bored today, and since I'm starting to get into learning how to do programming and robotics on Arduino and Raspberry, I'm building a prototyping board so that I can start experimenting with this stuff. So the idea here is I've got my Raspberry Pi, a 4B, and I've got my hat. So what I'd like to do is I'm trying to basically build a board for experimentation that shall reside here. And I think I can position this like so. So I'm going to need some tall screws. I don't know if I'll use those. I think what I should actually do is position this like so, and then use some ridiculously long spacers. I've got some here, or some cap stands, or stand-up, whatever you want to call them. I've got some from my Geek Pi project that I did. Those look bigger. 3 and 4. Awesome. And I think these guys are compatible with my little black ones here. Oh, c'est parfait. Nice. Alright, so let's take this guy off now. So I got my Raspberry mounted properly. Now I can figure out... hey JD, I'm building a prototyping board because I'm starting to get into doing Raspberry programming and Pi stuff. Actually, hold on, I'll grab the car that I'm working on. So, I want to get into building some more advanced robotics with AI, using the new Robot OS, which is ROS, ironically, and you know what I'm talking about, Rudder OS Microtech, right? So I'm going to be building a tank, like a 2-foot by 12-inch rover that'll have infrared and 2K camera on it at some point. But rather than using a standard RC controller, I want to be able to use game pads, so I've got more functionality, and I can program in AI and whatnot because there's Python scripts for that, like LiDAR and that. So I'll show you the car that I'm building to, you know, what am I looking for? Sharpen my teeth on. So this is the Mercedes here. This is a toddler Power Wheel that I've acquired from Facebook Marketplace for about 25 bucks. And I've already put a servo on it. I've updated it with the proper RC circuit, like that works with the RC controller that I've got there. So this little guy here will be my first project. So in building this RC car, I'm basically teaching myself the fundamentals of RC. And then once I've got that car running the way that I want it, which it's almost there, I'm going to work on my prototyping on this board here, and then be able to put a Raspberry in that and use the PWM to replace the RC receiver. So I'll have full real-time communications with it. So let's get this guy on here like so. I think this is going to be a fun little project. I'm going to use these big cap stands because I could just use them like knobs, like handles. First, just to get my marks. And here we go. Oh, that one's hollow. I think I've got more over here anyway, so. Here we go. And you know, the reason why I figured I'd live stream is that, you know, again, it's a boring Sunday, and I'm sure other people are bored. You just hang out with me, grab a glass of OJ, and then, yeah, we can have some fun, like, just building shit and hanging out. You know, have this on a side screen while you're doing whatever you're doing, you know? So, I mean, like, this isn't some to-the-point type video. This is literally just me screwing around, so. I'm going to need another ultra-tall one here. And it's kind of neat having the YouTube chat going on there, because now you guys can actually interact with me. I've never really figured out how to do that before. So, that'd be kind of fun. Hopefully it's fun. But it's going to be boring because there's just a lot of this. It's kind of like watching golf, I guess, because it's just like, oh, she steps up to the tee, the green. It looks like she settled on a 9-iron for this one. Why does she always use the 9-iron? It's always the 9-iron. Here we go. That should be tall enough. Yeah, that'll look nice like that. Alright, so now, I think it'll be orientated like this unless I can figure out a better way to do it. Alright, so let's see here. I think I can plug this directly. Oops, I bent those. Shit. I think I can plug this directly into the board. I think it'll go directly into the board. No, not quite. Oh, crap. Alright, so now I gotta fix that. Oh. That was dumb. Ah! There we go. Okay, so that's on there. And so this would be like this. This is the same orientation, I guess. Oh no, because this would be on the Raspberry like that, so that goes on here like so. And I cut myself because it's bone dry here. Alright, so we found our first issue. So this won't work like that because of these cap stands here. That's good to know. Yeah, it's so dry in my house right now. There we go. That my hands are falling apart. Okay, now I need to fix this because I'm dumb and careless and rammy. I hate working with IDE pins, like headers, because they're just so delicate. And in addition to being delicate, they're also very tight fit, you know? Okay, so there. Try to finesse it rather than... Yeah, it's snowing here too. Lake effect snow. And I don't know if I'm educating anybody because realistically, I'm learning myself. So, used to see the other project I've got coming up. So I went and bought a broken used Honda generator, and it's a EM3800SX, and I've got this neat little auto starter board for it. And so I've got to try to figure out how to integrate it with this so that I can make it 2-wire to integrate with my inverter charger system. So that will look good like that. And then I can tuck all the wires in underneath here, I think. So that's the idea. So I'm going to use my red pen here to mark this. And these Sharpie paint pens, I don't know if I screwed up or whatever, but this is definitely not an opaque red. This is more of a transparent red, and I wanted an opaque red. But I love paint markers. They're great for stuff like this. Okay, so let's see here. I want this like approximately like that. So this is just an old trick. You get some paint on it, and you just touch it to the wood, and hey, voila. So now I've got my little markers here. And so, let me see. I can grab the drill bit that I lost earlier. That was very hot. God, I'm so organized. You know what? We're going to do this. Yeah. I'm going to put my stuff over here like so. I'm going to get rid of my cell phone. I really don't need that. We're going to get organized. I don't need this tape here, so this can go over here for now. I do need these. So you got our screws and hardware. I'm going to put all of that in this little bowl here. You know what? It is on my destination. Usually when I go somewhere, when I travel, there's somebody that I know there that'll meet me there, and I meet up with them and I hang out with them. I usually stay at their place because living in terrible Kanakistan here, cost of living is really expensive. So rather than, spending $8,000 on a trip, I usually just find somebody I work with and I go and stay with them. So I mean, I would love to come to New Zealand. God, it's beautiful there, especially in the countryside. But if I'm going to go down there, I got to have a place to stay, make the arrangements and stuff. All right. So I'm going to grab, well, actually, I'll just use this one again as a marker. And I'm going to use my little jackknife here. This is a great little prototyping tool. Here we go. Oops. Let's, this might be tricky. Where did I put it? I can never find anything in my disaster of a mess. You know what? This'll work. Remember, folks, hindsight's 20/20. Not quite strong enough. Oh, cool. See if I can get this guy in here. Yeah, I think I can. This is the next size. There we go. Let's move these servos out of the way. I get a slightly larger bit. Okay, so what did I use before? I need something that's compatible with what I'm using. Okay, so we got these guys here. I think these are number 4s. I want this one. There we go. And I don't need my solder. I can just go over here. There we go. We're starting to get things together. We're getting organized. Grab a file. I always do that with these. Just for that reason, I have about 10 sets of these little things. Every time I go to Princess Auto, I buy more files. I'm always breaking the bloody things. Okay, I need a slightly bigger bit. Okay, so I'm going to put this one in my drill bit pile I'm using today. Let's put this one right here so we know which ones I'm using. Or I could actually put them right here. There we go. Alright, let's see here. Perfect. Okay, so now I should be able to mount these guys. Like so. Debating on how I'm going to do this. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to reverse this. I want to use the metal standoff, the brass standoff here, to anchor this to the board. You know what? That's the right height anyway. I'll just leave this on here. It's always a debate in my head. What's going to be the best in the long run? There we go. So I will now thread this on here by finger. I don't want to take this cable off either. Like, every time I do, I hurt myself. I hate these headers. I mean, like, they're awesome, but I mean, like, they're always so tight. They need to be, right? And, you know, I'm used to working with power electronics and big things. I've got these Truckosaurus hands, right? That's like, ugh. I'm starting to sweat. Wow. It's pretty warm in here. There we go. Alright, so we got that. Another one. Just nice and relaxing. Stay hydrated, right? So this beaver puke, as we call it, is actually pretty strong. It's compressed garbage wood. It's one of our clever manufacturing tricks. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Where these guys, this board is just a bunch of sawdust that's pressed with glue. And it makes it into these great little boards. And actually, I salvaged these. These are upcycled. When I bought my fireplace from a bedroom, one of those wall mount ones, they use this in the packing, so I'm like, I can use that. So I put it all aside. I'm one of those people. I pack rat some things. So now, how can we tidy up this cable? All right, so it should work like that. That'll work. Now, I think I'm going to put a zippy tie on that. It's like a little accordion. I'm going to grab one of my oodles of bags of zip ties here. Hopefully there's not a garbage lance? Lance? I don't know. If I die on stream, then you know what happened. A pile of garbage fell on me and crushed me to death. Excuse me. This should do. I love zip ties. They're so useful. Okay, so let's see here. Now, I'm debating because I could also use a little piece of Velcro, but I'm thinking for my purposes, this is not going to be changing very much once I actually have it in place. So that should work relatively well. Let's see here, that might be a little bit too tight. Let's see, what do I need? Like I said, this is all experimentation. I will not claim to be an expert at what I'm doing today. We're getting into robotics, which is a new area for Sarah. Now, what size do I want? I want this one. I think this one's actually the best option. I'm just going to put that on there. I think I get a driver for that too. Slightly too large. There we go, that's perfect. Aren't those cute? That makes life a lot easier. Of course, also, if I actually had a 1/4-inch drive, that would also make it pretty easy too. There we go. So this is a 5 mil, or some other god-awful size. Hey, you.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad, you?
Pretty good, except Dan called me like his flight got delayed again. Did you know that?
No, I was gonna call him today and ask him how things went.
I think it's still like really early there, which is why I'm not calling, but he called me at like 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning, like needing an Uber.
That sucks.
Yeah, what a terrible trip. Anyway, I just cleaned my car off, so I will be there shortly. I'm getting a ride, and then I'll just come over and grab Dan's car.
Yeah, by all means. If I knew how to auto start it, I would auto start it for you.
There's like a key, thing on the thing.
Let me check.
If you just pull that down, it auto starts. I won't be there for another 10 though.
Well, that gives it enough time to warm it up, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
I think this is it.
Okay, don't mind me. I look absolutely disgusting.
I don't care.
Okay.
Is it the one that looks like a key? The one that's
Yeah.
at the bottom, and I just push it and hold it?
Yeah, it's for 3 seconds, I think, until you see the lights turn on anyway.
There we go.
Thank you so much, hon.
No problem.
See you soon.
See ya, bye.
Bye.
All right, there we go. Let's get back to slicing my fingers open. There's a lot of blood there. I like blood. All right. Actually, I can make the joke that, yeah, I like blood. I got some nice fangs. You know, during the whole Twilight Saga thing, when all the little girls were like, "Oh, Twilight, he's a twinkly little angel." Well, because I've got such well-defined fangs, anywhere I went and they saw that, like cashiers or at the gas station or whatever, be like, "Oh my God, you've got such beautiful fangs!" And of course, I'd be like flattered, and because I do take pride in my fangs, and yeah, but it was still kind of ridiculous because I knew why they were so impressed with my canines was because of the stupid vampire movie. Let's see. I'm trying to find the appropriate size Phillips here, but I don't think I've got one in my precision set, of course. So I think I'm going to have to grab one of my bits over here at the side, and that should fit. Nope, not quite. Ah, yeah. Let's try that one. Yeah, that one seems good. Let's see here. I'm also going to have to reorientate this fan, I just realized, so that the leads are over here so I can plug it into the GPIO here to get enough power to actually run it. And I'm also going to have to create a DC bus here, a 5-volt DC bus on this project board, because I'm going to have 5 volts and 12 volts DC present. So that'll be something I'm going to have to consider. So I didn't even think about that before, but I'm going to need to have some sort of a bus available on here for my stuff. So I think the next thing I'm going to do now is how do these little fan clippies come off? I don't know. Maybe I just lift this off like so. God, my hands are so bloody. For those of well, I guess JD knows what I'm talking about, where it's like cold and dry, and your flesh literally starts peeling from your body. How do I get this thing off now? I want to rotate this. I wonder if it's long enough I can just... You know what? I could just be a lazy C, and let me just grab a... I know I've got them. They're around here. I've got extension cables. Oh, this is gonna be crazy. Where are they? Oh, there. These works. Let's see here. I'm running out of red and black. Okay, so I want black. Red. Red. And blue. Only because I know that it's designated blue on here. And so then I just need to look at the Geek Pi configuration as to how to connect it to the pins here, because it's basically a carry through as to the GPIO on this thing. So we'll just do this. Now, rather than cut these cables, I've been getting in the habit of actually just using extensions, because then I can take things apart when I'm prototyping instead of just soldering it all together. Now, I also need some heat shrink. And at some point, I'm going to have to try to find my breadboards, because I'm going to stick a breadboard on here too, for probably down here or across here, so I can jumper into it. Let's see. I think these are the ones I need. Nope. God, I'm getting blood everywhere. I'm sure some of you guys probably think that's gross, but hey, shit happens. Yeah. Daniel there in New Zealand. Nice, hot, humid, wonderful. One of the cool things about living in Ontario, Canada, is that in the summertime it's very hot and humid. So I'm a humid weather creature. I'm like a salamander. So people in Ontario tend to age a little bit better, only because we have the benefit of always being moisturized. I'm gonna stick some heat shrink on here, and then stick this bad boy in here like so. There we go. So that's now in there in the heat shrink. And so I'll heat shrink that after, because I just want to make sure that it's working properly before I actually seal it. And I'll need another little piece. So I think I cut these in half. I do. I don't think I need my calculator right this minute, so I'll put it aside. Cutters. Where's my pliers? Strippers, scissors, tweezers, pliers. I think we got everything we need now. Alright, so I'm going to put my tool over here that I'm going to be using. Alright, here we go. How's my 3D print doing? This is going to be a fun project. I'm really looking forward to getting it all working. So the end result here is I'm hoping to actually build a rover, basically, almost like one of those bomb disposal units, right? And the end result is going to be for urban exploration. So there's been many places I've wanted to get into that the building is falling apart or rotten or whatever, and it's like, you'd have to be really stupid to go in there, or poor air quality too, like molds and contaminants and all that stuff, right? So rather than actually risk my ass going into those places, what I've done is I've sent in my DJI Mini 3 Pro. And so by doing so, I have preserved my own life, but there's certain places where I'm not comfortable sending the DJI into. Specifically, places that have really tight doorways, because as you can probably assume, if I caught a doorway or whatever and the drone went down, chances are I'm not going to be able to get it back up, and I'm going to have to go in and retrieve it, because it's an expensive little piece of tech, and I'm not one who wants to lose them. So, not all Canadians. If you're in the prairies, you are not a moist individual. In fact, you probably look like a bearded dragon. Okay, so I'm going to look up the Raspberry Pi fan pins. Let's see here. What do we got? 5 volt, ground, and pin 8. Hopefully pin 8 isn't being used here. PWM 0. Oh, all the PWM pins are down here, so I need to go. This is going to be experimentation, so let's see if this works fine. So we've got red, skip a pin, black, and blue. And I haven't got the power board for this yet, so let's hook up 5 volts to it. I've got I need a 5 volt 3 amp. Oh, you know what I got? Hold on. I think this will work. We'll use this guy that I made for my bench power supply. This will do 60 watts. If you watch my other videos, so there's 5 volts, 5 amps. Let's see here, and then I can just get a little cable, a little jumper cable. Yeah, in fact, I very much wish that I was moist right now. I mean, oh my God, I'm so dry. You know what? I think that it's time for me to put on a little bit of moisturizer. There we go. We're gonna moisten my face up a little bit. And this is the oil of Lay with hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid. I think the A is silent. Whatever. I'm not a vain individual. I'm just terrified of aging because, like most of us figure out, it's not until you reach about 40 that you actually have money and stability. And when I say money, I don't mean rich. You know what I mean? You have the ability to actually start living. And you start to figure life out. So it's kind of catch-22, because at that point, if you don't take care of your body, you're just going to be incapable of literally doing anything. So we've got our USB-C here. I'm going to shorten this cable a little bit. This is insane. I'm going to have to start buying shorter USB-C leads for prototyping. So now if this works, I should be able to... Nope, it is not working. It is plugged in. It is powered on. Maybe it's because this is... oh, you know why? Because I'm dumb. This has a buck boost in it, so I've got to actually go... there we go. Now it works. Because this thing will call for 5 volts, and this will give it 5 volts. So there, now the Raspberry's booting. Cool. You know, I could actually just simply use one of these guys on here instead of... no, that's lazy. I should actually have a 5 volt regulator on here because I'm going to be working with 12 volt systems. I'm preferring 12 volt because I'm going to be working with high torque application, like crawler type design. So it comes these guys. Now the nice thing about these little cheap buck and boost converters is they all have a code on them. This one's a YH1063D. So I can actually look that up and I can actually find out if it is a buck or boost. I'm pretty sure this is a boost. Yeah, this is a boost. It's set for 44 volts. One of these guys is going to be a buck. So we'll check that out and figure out what we've got here. Let's look these guys up and see what we got. And these, I've got these guys around because I am also an apprentice locksmith. Alright, so let's look up this code on here. First of all, what's this one? This one might be my go-to because it looks like it's a little 10 amp, which should be way more than enough. What's the code on it? It's also got a voltage regulator on it, so that's great for ensuring that you've got polarity correction. All right, I don't see anything on here that tells me what it is, so we're just gonna have to experiment. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm gonna unplug this guy, and I'm gonna grab some 12-volt leads, or sorry, not 12-volt leads, some test leads here. I know I've got a set. This always seems to happen. I misplace everything. It should all be hanging up here. There's silicone leads that I used for this, so. Those aren't them. It might be over here. Let's check. You know, I can always buy more banana leads. We're gonna make a new sacrificial set. Oh, here they are. Haha! Good, I don't have to break a set. So I'm gonna test the output of this little guy, and we're gonna discover if it's a buck or boost. So where's my input? It's right here, and it's actually polarity indiscriminate, so I can just here we go. And this is another little piece that I can actually mount to this board. So I can have my data section here. This is all my, I guess, core section I can make here. I'll have my power facing outward like that, so I can free up more space here and bring the leads around, and I can anchor them here somehow. But this will allow me to have my 5-volt and 12-volt bus, because I believe that for the robotics, I will still need a 5-volt bus, and I think I have to give this 5 volts in here for the servos. I'll have to check the website when I'm ready. And there's a Arduino input here, an IA2, is it IA2C? Or I2C, whatever it is. Okay, so let's give this guy 12 volts. There we go, we'll soft start it. And so there we go, this is active now. Now let me grab a multimeter. And I should have one of my million multimeters ready to go. This one's good. This will do. Let's see what happens when I play with this. Probes. I need some butt probes. There we go. Positive. Negative. My good meters are outside, so if I touch these here, yeah, I'm getting 12.2. So now, we've got our positive and our negative. Just tuck these guys in here like so. Oh, oh, good, this is a drop. This is a drop. So now if I adjust this, let's polarize this appropriately. It's the negative, it's the positive. All right, here we go. Nice, first go. So I think I'm gonna make this 5.5. There we go. Just dial it back a tiny bit. Perfect. All right, so now, I don't know what the current ability is of this little device here. It's random, so here, let's find out. Okay, I need a power cable. And plug this in over here. Welcome to Mad Science. What is this cable? Oh, I already had one. All right, whatever. So this is my load, my dummy load. So I can connect things to this, and I can actually dial the current up and see what it's capable of. So let's do some fun science here. So I've got 5 amps at my power supply at 12 volts. That's 12 times 5, so that's what, 60 watts? Let's dial her up a little bit. Preliminary. Okay, we're at 2.5 amps. Not quite 3. That guy already faltered. It's 3 amps. Yeah, I think it's 3 on the nose. You can hear it struggling. The inductor really starts to work hard right here. 2.5. And the circuit's already starting to collapse. Alright, so that's 3.18. And I can compensate. There's my... a small slot here. I can compensate for that by dialing it up just a tiny bit. I'm going to take the load off. 5.44. Whoa, that little guy's getting spicy. Alright, I don't think I want to use that for this because it's going to be... it's not going to have the current ability, so let's look at the other ones. Hot, hot, hot! Yeah, this guy, this is like a little 2 amp. I'm actually going to write that on that now so I know exactly what it is. Nope, no magic smoke. No magic smoke. So I'm going to put B for buck. I'm going to go 2 amp buck. I'm going to assume this is a 2 amp buck. Okay, so that's a 2 amp buck. I can go back into the buck drawer. There it's. Okay, so now let's check here. So I think this one is a buck, but this is like a 10 amp. Although that has inductors on it, so that makes me wonder. YH1060D. Let's see what it says. No, I'm not gonna magic smoke it. If you want some magic smoke, I'll do some magic smoke on something else, but here. Alright, so let's look up this number. YH1060D. DC to DC. Let's see here. Ah, there we go. Yep. Step down. Nice. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right, we're just going to verify that. All right, so here's in. It's labeled for those of us that are like me that do silly things. Ha ha ha. Okay, so now I'm going to take my... Where's my not sharp tweezers? There we go. So we're going to get this buck now and set it up. So this one is not polarity corrected, so let's make sure I don't fry the damn thing. That is negative. The wind is getting pretty wild out there right now. I saw a squirrel go by earlier. And when I say go by, I mean like without touching the ground. And also in the air. We got squirrels! In reference to Twister, the movie Twister. Alright, so let's see here. First of all, let's do a voltage, because I can use this as a voltmeter too, by the way. So here we go. So I'm setting it back up for 12. Oh, nice. It's already set up for 5 volts. Okay, so let's see how much current we can put on this bad boy. It collapses pretty fast. As soon as I put 6 amps on it, it's down. So this thing claims that it's 300 watts. That's an absolute lie. And I don't see a current limiter on here. Drock. As long as I can get at least 4 amps out of it, I should be good. Here's 4 amps. Yeah, that's okay. That's an acceptable voltage drop. Alright, so let's take this back. 5.44. Perfect. Alright, so this shall be our buck converter for the project. Which means I can put the rest back in the drawer here. You know, I should write this on it, what they are. 11063. That's a boost, I think. Okay, so I'm going to write buck on here. There we go. This goes back in the drawer. What is Clive's woofler again? Isn't that like a cup with, he puts butane in it and it goes poof? I seem to recall that he does fun things like that. You know what? Screw it. Let's look it up. I forget. And yes, I watch Big Clive. I watch Photonic Induction. I watch Kyle Bishop. I watch Medi. I watch all those guys. I love them. Clive. Woofler. I can't find it offhand. How does he spell it? W-H? Oh, here we go.
A tribute to Big Clive and his woofler. Whoa! Try that again, shall we? Woofle. Oh!
Oh, it's fire.
One's never enough.
You want fire, do you? Okay, Clive has his woofler. I could do that, but then that's not very original. How about I go? Is that suitable? I hope that appeases you guys. Let's turn on the air purifier now. There we go. All right, I hope that was satisfactory. We made some smoke and some explosion. Okay, so now let's get this bad boy mounted. So this is gonna be our DC bus. So I'm probably gonna mount it like so. And then I can just simply have my terminals here. Now, what I can use, what can I use for terminals? Because it would be nice to be able to have this thing easy to manipulate and do stuff with, to be able to break out from here. Actually, you know what? I do recall that there are pins on here that will power this as well. So let's look that up, because I believe that the PoE pins right there might actually... No. That's right. The PoE pins are for tapping this. And then there's... I'd have to use part of the pin set here. So let's see. In power pins. Oh yeah, let's see here. Where's the power in? Can I literally just use these pins? Power through GPIO header. See, I love cell phones for this. Up in smoke. Hey, I don't smoke weed anymore because it puts me to sleep, but I could pull a joint out and do a Elon Musk and go, if you'd like. Powering via the 5-volt power pins on the GPI can be tricky, as it leads to serious problems if done incorrectly. It can cause permanent harm to your Raspberry Pi. Yes, you can still power Raspberry Pi 4 from pins on the GPIO header supply, 5-volt to pins 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3. No, because 4 is a GPIO. That's a... So hold on. Oh, or maybe it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's see if this is if there's a drawing. 5 volts. Let's see. Maybe there's a pretty drawing or picture. You know what? Realistically, who cares? I'm just gonna USB-C it here. Yeah, that's what I thought. It comes in through the GPIO pins here. So I could, theoretically, take a ground pin. Let's see what the pinout is here. GPIO pinout. I think I should just print this off, by the way. I'm just going to print this. How do you print from your phone? You know what? I'll just go over to the computer for a second. I mean, my computer's right here. So it should be good to go. Can you make video on WISP DC power setup to run devices like Cambium Force 300? I already did. Go to my channel and in the search bar type in DC plant. And I did a video for 24 volts and 48 volts. They're basically the same thing, except different voltages, but the same type of build out. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do a quick search on my computer for the Raspberry Pi pinout, and I'm going to print that off. Here we go. GPIO. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then I should also do the one for the wave share. All right, here we go. So let's print this. Wow, I can't print directly from Firefox is getting worse every friggin' day. I want it in color. Pretty color. Here we go. Let's do... where's my orientation? I should make it landscape. There we go. Print. Now I'm going to get the wave share pin out because I want to make sure that I do this properly. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so let's see here. wave share, PWM hat, pinout. Servo driver hat for Raspberry Pi. There we go. So 6 through 12 volts via terminal. So I think that the 5 volts on this guy is for the 40 pin. So theoretically, I should actually be able to, I think I can actually just power this guy here, and that will also power all of my servos and the Raspberry. So we're about to try that. This is gonna be a good little experiment. Now, I don't know why my printer isn't printing. Let me just see here, because you know, Windows is wonderful, isn't it? Where's my print queue? It sent it to it. I hate Windows. Where's my printers? Printers. Because for whatever reason, when I need to actually print something off, it's just going to be broken. All right, here we go. Attention required. Manage. What kind of attention? What kind of attention? All right, I think I figured out what happened. I guess that the printer that I'm using, it's a Lexmark color laser, is so stupid that if I try to power, like charge a cell phone off of it, that it will shit its pants, and you have to power cycle it to bring it back up. So we've got two 5-volt DC leads here. So I can actually technically do this one here. And there's a second ground here which I can use. There's tons of grounds on here actually. So I'm going to steal this ground right here on 9. And I should be able to use another black and red and power my Raspberry with it. So let's get another black and red out of here. I'm going to be running out of blacks and reds soon. Now, I believe that the PC color designation is that red is 5 volts and yellow is 12 volts. So I'm going to use that same designation here. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't have to waste these because these little pass-throughs are great for all sorts of different things. I can instead use these guys. So let's take a red. I think orange also qualifies as 5 volts. Here we go. We'll use these guys. There we go. So this should be our power. I'm going to go get my print off so I don't have to constantly go on my cell phone here.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
Can you do me a favor?
What?
Would you mind like reversing Dan's car out of there? Because I get really nervous about hitting your car.
Oh, yeah, no worries. I'll just be a second, guys. One of my friends came over. She's picking up Thomas's car, so I'm just going to go out back for a minute. So if you've got to pee, go do it now. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see. Where is my jacket?
It's freezing out there.
Yeah, it's miserable outside, isn't it?
It's so icy too. Like my driveway got plowed, but then the snowplow came and did the sidewalks, I guess, and all the ice was just like it's rock solid. So
I'm gonna grab the boots.
friggin' like
I'm gonna grab my boots from the back room.
okay. Do you want me to just meet
Okay. We are back. Yeah, no problem. We'll see you later, JD. Like I said, I'm streaming because I'm going to be working at this for a while, so, I mean, might as well. Alright, there we go. And grab some granola bars, be heart healthy. Alright, so theoretically, I should be able to plug in here. And where's my other printer? So pin 5 over on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to double check and make sure that that is in fact a ground. Alright, so I'm going to grab my little mini strippers here. I'm always so cautious about, like, I like triple checking things to make sure. I don't trust myself. And it's a good way to be because it ensures that you're not going to wreck shit. Alright, so now let's grab a set of probes here. And where are my probes? Oh yeah, they're down here. Now you probably noticed that these probes are heavily modified. And I did this because this particular set I can plug directly in my power supply and poke around. Alright, so let's do this. We're going to go in here. And here. And I'm going to set this for continuity. There we go. You know, this should beep. So let me, oh, select. There we go. So I'm going to go to ground here. Perfect. C'est parfait? Just out of curiosity. No, that is definitely a separate 6 to 12 volts in. But I think the 6 to 12 volts in. You know what? I think this is a buck. Let's test something here. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. Oh my goodness. If this is what I think it is, I can actually power the Raspberry with this. Oh, that'd be so cool. Okay, let's try this. Wow. I think that the wave share, I'll just look it up on this computer. I think that the wave share is capable of powering all of this. Power Raspberry Pi with wave share servo hat. Yeah, I think this will do it. Okay, I'm not finding much about this, so we're just going to test it and see what happens. I have a feeling, though, that... Oops. It got rather hot. Why did that get so hot? That's unsettling. Let's check something out here. We're experimenting now. So if I run 12 volts into here, it's just as I thought. It will power the Raspberry Pi. Oh my god, that is awesome. So I don't even need these. Alright, so I can simply power this here. All right, this is awesome. So now I can set a set of terminals here, like a little screw terminal. Let me grab one. I'm pretty sure I've got some terminal blocks around here. All right, let's see. Where are my terminals? I hope I'm not out. I might be. No, it's not looking good. I don't think I've got any terminals. Whatever. It sucks, but I think we can make this work. Okay, so here. I'm going to take this guy here. And I am going to remove this because for my purposes, I'll just order a terminal off of Amazon. But for what I'm doing, this is actually going to work really, really well. And the nice thing is now that I know this, I can make an entire kit like this, drop it inside, like I can 3D print a housing for it now. Oh, this is exciting. And I could just have these exposed inside of the ROV. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to use my tweezers to expand the little clippies here. There we go, we've got our ground. We need a smaller slot screwdriver. I should have smaller ones here. This one should be smaller. That's perfect. This actually should be my terminal screwdriver for the day, so I'm going to put this one away. And let's tighten this one. Here we go. Nice. All right, cool. This is really neat to know that the Waveshare can do this. I'm going to put this away up here. Let's go over here. Perfect. We're getting places now. We're getting places. All right, so now I can plug this guy into 12 volts. And double check everything. Yep. There we go. So I can power this entire project through the PWM hat. And I'm just looking, and the LEDs are most certainly on the Raspberry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little screen, and we're going to test this now, make sure. Nice. I need an HDMI cable. Alexa, turn on Baker's Rack.
Oh, God.
Huh? Here we go. This should work. Oh crap, it's one of those stupid little HDMI cables I forgot. I think I've got one of those on my desk actually. If I don't, I should have one down here. Alexa, turn on desk. Oh, I think I've got one right here. The nice thing is that these things are usually like a micro HDMI on one side probably find a cable that just does the whole... Ah, there we go. I think that's the one I need. Sweet! There we go. It is booted. The Raspberry Pi is working, and it's working through this little hat. Let's see what the temps are. That's not bad. It's working. Cool. So I can now power this whole thing through the 12-volt bus like this. That is awesome. That was unexpected and wonderful. Wonderful. This is wonderful. Oh my god. All right, cool. So we know we've got connectivity now. We know that everything's powered and working. So let's put the screen aside for now. And, man, that's a wicked thing. Okay, so let's get rid of all the stuff that I don't need now. Things are getting cluttered fast. Alright. Well, that's awesome. So now, we need to put some peripherals on here so we can actually start messing with that. And it bothers me that there's this garbage just gunk on here. And I think I can get rid of it with a little bit of ISO. Let's just get a microfiber cloth. Worst thing about this beaver puke is that if you do this with water, it'll just fall apart. There, that should get it all off. A little bit left. Get all this off over here. Okay, that's done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we call it beaver puke. Now, I wish that I had my breadboards at hand. Because that was short-sighted thinking, because I'm just like, when I'm very ADHD, so when I dive into something, I just dive into something, right? So, I mean, I could dig them out, but I don't want to leave, you know, my desk for that long. I think they're actually sitting in one of the bins on my desk, so I could give it a preliminary look and see if I can find one. There we go. That's better. Now I don't have that sticky goop on here. A little bit left. Trying to get that off. I'm gonna just put this on the cloth. There we go. That's better. Okay, so let this guy cool down. All right, now, where were we? Okay, so we've got this here. And now I want to put peripherals down so that I can test stuffs. Alright, so we've got a motor. Okay, so how long are these little leads? Okay, so now what I did here, by the way, is because this is designed for running servos, is for robotics. It's not designed to run an ESC, but an ESC behaves the same way as a servo does. So, usually what I've learned, from RC car stuff, is that the little ESC, the electronic speed controller, also powers the actual RF receiver. So, in this case here, we don't need that kind of power. So, I actually cut the positive pin on PWM channel 0 so that this would not pump power into this circuit. Now, in hindsight, that would have been good because it probably would have powered the Raspberry Pi as well, but being able to use the onboard buck converter here to power this whole system from 12 volts, that's pretty awesome. So now, with this, I can tie this into the 12 volt bus as well, so this now means that I actually need to work on getting a 12 volt terminal block on here. My Raspberry Pi just did something funny. And I'll probably just glue this onto the board because there's no sticker on the back, so it should work. But I do want to test this quickly because I did oopsie earlier and hooked up the motor leads to my power supply instead of the battery leads. So I just want to make sure this is good before I actually mount it. So to do so, I think I will steal... No, I might not have to. Hold on. Hey, sweetie. I think I have got another RF in here. And look, I've got another servo driver hat right here. Literally identical. And I've also got these little guys here for running LEDs. So, there's all sorts of neat stuff in here. Maybe a fun little kit. Alright, so, I believe I can hook this guy up to channel 1. Like so. There we go. Now, I should be able to give this guy 12 volts, and I should be able to control it with the RC. So I should have some alligator clicks, some crocodile clips here, as Clive would call them. Because he's British and I am a colonist. Colonial, whatever. Colonial descendant? I mean, obviously I'm not a colonial now. I'm just existing. There we go. It looks like it's fine. Good. So now, let's grab the RC. This is way cheaper than just buying a servo tester. Now let's see, I should be able to push this little button here. Hello. Oh, more Amazon stuff, cool. Trying to bind it. Maybe I have to hold it on. Yep, there we go. And then I think I can do this. Oh, maybe I've got to do the same thing over here. Let's try that. See if that does it. You gonna bind? Never done this before. Come on. I want to test stuff. I wonder how long this takes. I've never done this before. Like I said, this is all labs so that I can learn how this stuff works. Well, it's not bound. Yeah, you know what? I'll go and steal the RF unit out of my little car here. Here we go. Maybe too close. Oh, there's not enough current. There we go. Yeah, hi. Yeah, I think it's collapsing because it doesn't have enough current. Or this little motor controller is in fact popped. Yeah, as soon as this motor starts to turn. There's gonna be some magic smoke on here. Oh yeah. This guy is, I think it's done. Well, that means I gotta get the old soldering iron out. There you go, Daniel. You got your magic smoke. There you go. You get to see a pretty little ESC in its death throes. Ow. No, it's because I hooked it up backwards when I first hooked it up. But you know, it'll be fun. Let's open it up and see exactly what blew up. And I'm pretty sure it was MOSFETs. Look, it actually melted the corner of it. Yeah, the ESC is popped. These were like 14 bucks for a set of two. I just got these to play with, so it's okay if one gets destroyed. All right, let's pop this thing open and see exactly what blew up. Oh, I think there's screws in the top. Were screws in the top. Maybe not. All right, so it appears that there were MOSFETs, two of them right there. They are now glued to the top of the case. It looks like the inductor there came loose and the capacitor did not explode, but yeah, that's definitely, I'd say it's fucked. So, that's sad, but whatever. Now, I am going to save the leads off of this because you know what? This is still silicone wire and whatnot, so this is going to be useful for other stuff, jumpers and whatnot. Ew. Wow. Note to self, don't hook up the motor leads to power. with these guys, because you will destroy them. And I think that's because I had it in forward brake reverse mode, if I understand that correctly. Holy crap. Yep, that's done. I don't think I'm going to throw that in the garbage right away, though, because I don't want to start a fire. Just in case. Alright, so let's grab another motor controller. Fortunately, I bought a couple of more. Some big boys. So I got a couple of these bad boys. And I think I actually have one on my desk already somewhere. But where did I put it? Oh, it might have gone in this box over here. Let's see here. So we'll hook up another ESC. So this is the battery. Is this battery in? Yep, this is the battery in. This is the motor out. Cool. So I should be able to rock these guys. And I'll grab a couple of Wago connectors. And we'll get this thing running on 12 volts. So I've got a whole box of Wagos here. Here we go. There we go. Oh, that didn't go in all the way. That's what she said. Or he said? I don't know. There we go. So we'll do this. I am not going to give this thing 20 amps. I'm only going to give this thing maybe 3. Just to ensure that I don't accidentally pop it again. I'm going to turn off the soldering iron for a moment because we don't need it. And let's hook up our power now. So this is going to need a 12-volt bus for my testing. I could just test it with servos, but I prefer to actually be able to test motors and whatnot with it. So let's make these leads a little bit longer. I think the snow squalls are getting ready to hit. It's about noon, so yeah. There we go. Don't you love Wago connectors? Alright, so that is on. I don't like that switch. That's a stupid switch. Alright, so now I should be able to plug this into my motor controller, or my PWM here. Goes right there. And I can test it now cautiously, because I'm afraid. Oh no. Oh, the switch is backwards. Oh, that scared the hell out of me. Well, I mean, it's Chinese, right? So you can't entirely trust these things. Alright, good. So we know that this works. And I hate to do this with these connectors. I'm going to end up cutting them in the end anyway, so we all know that's going to happen. Well, why does that hurt so much to do that? And by the way, I think that my fingers stopped bleeding, so I should be able to take this off now. Look at that gore fest. Woof. I'm going to use my shop rag here, throw a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on here. There we go. Alright, time to hook up a motor. So I'm going to turn this off first because I am a cautious Kelly. That's my drill battery doing. It's getting pretty hot. Let's move this over. Alright, so now we can go back over and do this. Oh, yeah, it's soldered in there, of course. Now, again, I should use a terminal block for this. Really, I should use a terminal block. So I'm going to put Wagos on here. Where did I put my Wagos? Now, at some point today, I'm going to be getting off this live stream once I'm done with my lab here. And I am going to be changing how my little RC car that I'm building drives, because it is a kid's power wheel, essentially, right? In Canada, we just use the term power wheel for, like, children's electric car. Because, you know, Power Wheel was one of the first ones. But this one is actually, I think it's a generic one from AliExpress. The original owners bought it, of course. And it is a Mercedes licensed, apparently. All right. Here we go. Well, yeah, see, this is what happens. I really don't have a lot of room, and I haven't quite figured out how to organize my desk to be the most efficient. I mean, so far, this is probably the best revision of my desk yet, but I'm working with limited space. Let's, first of all, let's get some solder on here. What I like to do is get a little bit on the tip, get it wet, and then that gets my heat conductivity, and then just flux gets right in there. This is resin or rosin core solder. That's a shit soldering job. There we go. I should invest in a third hand at this point, really. Well, this is a cheat. So, let's get a little bit of heat on here. Alright, so let's do this. Now I'm using yellow for 12 volt designation. Figure that makes the most sense because that's how it is in the PC world. And I believe that in the PC world, actually, I was thinking about it, 3.3 volts is designated by orange. And I think 24 is designated by blue. There must be an IEC or ANSI sheet out there that'll explain that, though. There we go. I can turn off my soldering iron now. You know, I've had that container of rosin for probably close to about, I want to say 8 years. I'm still going on it. By the way, can anybody see how many people are watching? Because I'm kind of curious about that. Because this is kind of a boring stream. And I can't see there being a lot of people on here actually being entertained by this. Not that I'm attempting to entertain, it's more or less like I'm doing a project and I figured, you know, if I'm doing something like this, I'm not going to record it, I might as well just do this, right? So you guys can actually watch. For those who are interested. Okay, so here we go. We've got our motor now. turning on the remote. Let's see now. There we go. 4 people are watching. Cool. Hello, the 4 people who are bored enough to hang out with me today. Now, this should have a reverse function on it as well. Let's see here. I can't read that. Oh, I see. Okay, I think I got it. All right, let's turn this off again. And I am going to change this jumper configuration because clearly this is wrong. Like I said, it is a Chinese device. And by the way, here's a little tip for you guys. If you are buying stuff, by the way, thanks Daniel. If you're buying stuff on Amazon.com, before you actually buy it, go on AliExpress and see if you can find the same thing on there, because you typically will for about half the price. Typically what people do is they will drop ship. So they'll sell things from AliExpress, but they'll have a drop ship setup where when they order the stuff from Amazon, when people order it, they'll get the markup, but then it gets shipped directly to them. That's why sometimes it takes longer for you to get stuff from Amazon that's a product like this. All right, so now, so this motor controller doesn't even do reverse. It just does forward. That's annoying. Maybe that's how I make it work. No. So this thing does not seem to do reverse. That's kind of crappy. Why would you buy an RC ESC that can't do reverse? But this is the experimentation stage anyway, and I know what does what now, so this is good to test with, I guess. Of note, there's also weird quirks. So I've just turned this thing on with this in the center. There we go. I'm going to put a piece of tape on here so I can actually see it. But I think that you have to turn it on with the joystick in the center. And this is something which I literally just learned. Again, if you're just tuning in, I am not very experienced with RC stuff, and I'm just learning how to do it now. So the idea here is that I'm building little labs so I can start playing with this stuff and learning how it works. And so I'm mounting everything on this board here so I can start doing robotics, prototype it on this board, and then I'll be able to take my Raspberry Pi SD card that's been programmed, or take the programming that's on it and move it to its permanent chip. Because I can just use, I'm probably going to use 128 gigs actually, to be fair, thinking out loud. Only because you'll see what I'm working with shortly. Like the idea is that I'm going to build ROVs that have cameras on them. In fact, this is one of the ones that I'm building. So this is an anchor cam, which you can only use one on your computer at a time typically. So they're perfect for RCs. It's 2K 60 hertz. So the idea is I can stick this onto a gimbal, which will turn side to side, down and up. She'll do it on the big screen. See? That's just with 2 servos. Really janky. I didn't even 3D print anything. I just glued servo stuff together. So the idea is that I want to use the Raspberry Pi for this. This can be my FPV. And I can also record onto the memory card that's on it, so I can get cool pictures and whatever from urban exploration. All right, so that's set up now. So now let's try this. So there we go, forward and reverse. Funny thing about this remote though, I haven't learned how to program it yet. You have to stop at 0 for a second. All right, so we know that this motor controller works now. We're good here. So I'm going to turn this off, and I am going to unplug this from here now that we know that it works. And I'm just going to put this over here on this stool so I don't lose it. Now, I can actually go and hook this thing up over here. I am so curious about something. Let's try something here. I'm going to plug the motor controller into the PWM hat and see what happens. It will power it. That might be a lot of current for this little bad boy, though. I think it's going to be too much for it. So so the 5-volt bus on here, the red and black, are tied into the 5-volt bus for this. Going back to the, it goes down through the GPIO cable into the Raspberry. So theoretically, all the 5-volt buses are tied in together on here, and there's a 12-volt bus here, an input that will buck on here to power everything here. Hey, Dex. That's cool. All right, cool. So that we've got some more insight now, some little experiments, but realistically, I want this to be over here where it's not going to power anything. I want that to simply be for the purposes of, I want it for the simple purposes of driving a motor and not powering this circuit here. So that's good. So we've got that figured out now, so, all right. I am going to have to order, I'm going to see if I can get some kind of a Wago block that I can actually stick on here, because I really do like Wagos. All right, so I'm going to glue this on here, because this is going to be my motor controller. And obviously I can steal this if I need to. So how am I going to stick this on here? I think I'm going to use some hot glue. So I'm going to show you guys my horrible, horrible hot glue trick. And I'm sure that I'm not the only maker that does this. So I take a little bit of hot glue, and my little torch here. So I've got lots of hot glue guns in that, but this is just really quick. And when you get hot glue really, really, really hot with a torch, it adheres perfectly. There we go. So there's an ESC now for my experiments. Got a little switch on there. And then I can also hook the motor up. I'm going to hook the motor up over here. So this will be my motor. Yeah, I can put the motor right here. That'd be perfect, because I want to have all my different stuff to test here. All right, so. All right, and I want this to be the same as how I set up my my RC remote control, because the idea is as I'm building things, I'm starting off with the regular RC car TX and RX units, right? The controller and the receiver module. And then I just want to swap it out for the Raspberry Pi and have it function exactly the same way. The motor is easy because I'm only using a 2-wire brush at this stage. So I mean, like, if I screw something up, it's really easy to fix that. But with the servos, I want the steering to be exactly as it should be. All right, so we're gonna grab this little guy again. I was not thinking properly when I did that. And I'm gonna stick this back on here for a moment. But the nice thing is now we've got Wago, so everything's just stationary, right? And by the way, I would love to thank Pig Live for his video about Wago connectors, because it wasn't until I saw them on his channel that I even knew about them. And I was extremely happy to learn about them. All right, so let's get a servo now, because I want this to be set up with the servo for left and right. And I'm going to grab just a little blue servo. So realistically, all I need is a servo. Yeah, I just need, so I'm going to put this over here because I want to put breadboard on here as well, and I think the breadboard will here. In fact, give me a second, guys, and I'm going to see if I can find my breadboard. It should be on this desk. I'm certain of it. Oh, my 3D printer died. I didn't like that sound. Let's see here. We got all these little bins all over the place, by the way. It's not over here. Yeah, I'm certain that it's buried. It's buried in my disgusting mess of detritus that is my desk. Ow, get in my hair. There we go. Breadboard. Who's got the breadboard? If you could see my desk right now, you would all be ashamed of me. No, it's not in there. And if I chance a look for it, it's going to take me a while to find it. I can guarantee you that. So I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'm just going to assign a space for my breadboard right here. So it's going to be here. I know how big breadboards are, so that works. All right. In the meantime, back to the project at hand. I want to put a servo on here so I can gauge my left and right. So I'm going to put a little arm on this guy as well. C'est parfait. This will work. So, first, let's hook the RC controller back up. Turned off right now, so let's plug this little, so that's in there. And now I believe the channel, so what is it? 2 and 3 are for this. Let's see, I want to make sure I plug this in the right way. Here we go, now I can power it up. Alright, so remember, when I go to work with the Raspberry Pi, I want my all my controls to act exactly the same way as this. So this will be my controller for my robotics. So let's see here. Put it on. I'm also gonna, you know what, I should also mark the designations for forward and reverse. There we go. Forward and reverse designations. So I have to stop it here for a second. I know that I have to program this controller. It's called training it. There we go. So now left and right. So the way that I'm going to be programming all of my gear is this is going to be my spatial. So I'm going to go left, right, forward, back, so I can do all of my control this way. And this is going to be my FPV here, and my accessories will all be in the top here. Now let's see which way this one goes when I go left and right. Nice. And I guess if I flip this thing over, it's not going to be, see here, because that would be kind of cool to do it this way. Yeah. Perfect. And so I could just tuck this little guy up here. Here we go. And that wind is getting violent out there. There we go. So I'm going to orientate this like so. Yeah, and I'm just going to use more hot glue. I love the technique with the hot glue. If nobody's seen this before, welcome. Sometimes I also just use a candle or a torch because I've usually got a candle going somewhere, but there we go. And when it gets this hot, it sticks. There we go. So this is my new robotics lab. And just so that I know what I'm dealing with. Left. Right. There we go. So now I've got my basics. Left, right, forward, reverse, forward, stop, brake, I guess, reverse. So that's the basics of what I want to be able to do with this whole project. So that will give me that, because like realistically, now I can just take the servo and move it around. That's kind of what I'm going for. So now, we've got all that on here. Let's hook everything back up the way that I want it. So this is going to be the servo, so it's going to be channel 2. And this is going to be the motor. So this is going to be channel 1. And the cool thing is they've got the PWM orientated very well on here. Black and red are your 5 volts, and your yellow is your signal. So now that all this is in place, I can now seal the heat shrink tubing here so that my little extension leads don't come out on here. And I'm just going to use my torch again. I do have my heat gun up here, but watch this. I love this torch. It's one of those, actually I shouldn't say one of, my literal best friend forever, my BFF, Doug, gave me this torch. I'm notorious for seeing cool shit and then asking my friends if I can have some of it because I'm like very dumb. But anyway, I saw these in his shop and I'm just like, dude, where'd you get those? And he told me he got them somewhere in Toronto or whatever. And I'm just like, can I please just have one? You know, or can you tell me where to get it so I can get one? And he just gave me one because he's a sweetie. So there we go. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to reorientate these a little bit. Because I definitely want to make sure that all of this is tidy as hell so I can see exactly what's going on. So there we go. We've got this and this. So now let's tidy up this board a little bit because these are the fundamental pieces that I need. My drivetrain and my first servo, my steering servo. After that, you're starting to get into the more advanced stuff like lighting controllers and more servos and whatnot, right? So this is basically just preliminary. This is basically like, okay, if I tell channel 0 to go follow this, so like 0, 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, negative 10, 20, 30, 40. That's the idea of the programming on this. All right, so that is good. So now I'm going to unplug this. And I'm going to just coil this up over here. And I definitely have to figure out a terminal system. Or you know what I might actually do as well? A barrel connector. Oh, yes. And I think I have a barrel connector that'll work with this. Because realistically, this is all I need. I can order some type of a terminal block for this thing so I can have like positive and negative terminals on here. And I'll have my breadboard here. I'll probably put the breadboard here to be fair. When I find it, I'll send you guys a notification. I'll do a little video on that explaining this, because this is just assembly anyway, right? So now let's tidy all this up. Okay, so what are we going to do here? All right, so I could probably just solder these wires on. I think that they'll be long enough to go on here. Are these the actual same length? Oh. I've got to turn my motor if I'm going to solder the wires directly on, but I probably should. That would actually be a lot tidier, because this is a sacrificial ESC. This is simply for the purposes of my experimentation, right? God, I want some nice, quick and easy terminals if anybody knows about what I should use for doing prototyping like this, stuff that I can keep on the board here. So let's tidy this up just a wee bit. Okay, so this is motor here, and this is battery. All right, cool. So I'm going to tidy up these leads. I'm going to put a little bit of flux on them. Where's the other one? All right, there we go. Go, it's drawing in the solder nicely. Okay, let's trim these guys back a tiny bit. Now, since this is simply lab, I'm not going to bother putting shrink on here, but I'm going to leave these little slidey tubes on here because that's a cool idea. Now, I've got a nice big bubble of solder on here, which will make it perfect for soldering these little tabs on the motor. I'm actually kind of shocked that you stuck around as long as you have, Daniel. I would have thought that this is like boring as hell. I'm actually kind of happy that you're hanging around with me on this chill Sunday afternoon. There, that's perfect. C'est parfait? C'est parfait. Nice and tiny. I'll bring this over here. It's a little tight, but whatever. There we are. Cool. This little thing is kind of useless, but I will keep it. And this guy here, I'm going to put the Wagos back on it, but now that we're prototyping, I am going to tip the ends. This is called tinning or tipping. You can probably hear my 3D printer going in the background, by the way. I'm printing a smaller project board for the one that's actually going to go into vehicles. So what I really want to do is I want to build two. I want to build a RF type board. Oh shit, I turned off my soldering iron. I want to build an RF type prototype board that has like the little RF unit on it, right? And then have a separate one specifically for the Raspberry. And then that way I can like just swap it in, like have a piece like this. I don't, because I've already got flux on my leads. And if you're wondering about air purification, because I do not like breathing in leaded solder, you know what? I found out something very, very interesting, by the way. So get this. So, of course, a lot of people talk about the fact that there's controversy, but I've talked to physicians about this now, is that solder smoke is not necessarily the lead unless you're getting it very, very, very hot. And I'm soldering at about 380 C right now. What this is actually the flux, which is highly acidic. So the flux will actually cause irritation and inflammation on the mucous membranes that it comes in contact with. Although what's really scary is if you were actually vaporizing the lead. The blood-brain barrier can be penetrated easily by lead, so it can cross that and get into your brain. So if you actually inhaled it, I found out that the capillaries and all that are inside of your nasal passages and that, of course, go up into the brain as well. So if you were to inhale lead smoke or fumes, vapor, and or aluminium or anything like that, then it would definitely go up to your brain and get in there. So, although I don't know how aluminium is, I'm not entirely sure how that, or if that's able to cross the blood-brain barrier yet. I don't know. Let's see if there's anything left in here. Looks like there might be a little bit. Oh, let's give it a shot. Not enough to matter. Let's make some more fire, though. I'm gonna go get some more firecrackers for you guys. Since you guys like this stuff, Big Clive has this woofer, and I gotta do something myself, don't I? You ready, pyros? There you go. Does that make you happy? Every now and again, I'll just make a flash. Alright, so we're making progress here. Now I need to set up some power leads here for this guy. So I'm going to grab some red and some blue because I'm out of black, and I definitely need to order some more. Now what I should do is actually change up this Wago, actually. I'm going to go to a 3 position. There we go. Here's our negative and our positive. Oh, that one's tight. I'm not a weakling. Oh, this is an old one. That's why. No, that's all browned and... How'd that get in there? Oh, I guess I don't throw anything out. I should throw that out, though. That one looks like it's not in good shape and used. Alright, so there's those. So now I need to do my leads over here for this. And what I'm probably going to do, I think I'll put a little switch here. So I'm going to get rid of this piece of garbage and I'm going to put a different one here. The woofer is printed. Oh yeah, because you put some soapy water in it and then, right? I'm assuming that Clive posted the woofer on Thingiverse or something. I presume. I can't talk nearly as eloquently as he can. He's got a voice as smooth as butter. Like, if I'm really upset and I throw on a big Clive video, it just really calms me down. Now, if I want to feel naughty, I watch Photonic Induction. Who, by the way, I sorely miss right now. I wish he would come back. I know that he's got a lot going on in his life, and I get it. I mean, like, I hate editing content, which is why, you know, I kind of suck at getting it out there, is because I'm just basically being lazy. But I just loathe editing, right? But Andy was a gift to the world, especially for engineers and nerds like us, right? So how can I do this to make the most sense? I could put a little board up here. I could put a little PCB up here. I think I'm going to do that. Because we're not talking a lot of heat right here, I'm going to put a little piece over top of this for my my battery terminals. Okay, so I'm going to need this to come onto here. I think that'll work just like that. Hey Daniel, do you ever watch Photonic Induction? I know, well, he disappeared for a while there. I mean, he was having problems with immigration, getting his girlfriend into the country, I guess. And then they got that sorted out, but then he just disappeared for a bit after that. I guess everything's just been a nightmare for him. So, which really sucks, but hopefully everything's sorted out now, and hopefully he comes back soon, because he really is a treasure. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mount a little piece up here that I can fasten the Wagos to, like so, and then I can also put a little switch up top here. I think that'll make the most sense. So I've already got some little holes in here which I can utilize. So let's get some more of these guys going. I'm gonna put them. I saw them just over here. Oh, there's my RF unit right there. Rodal Co. 2007. No, I have not. Does he do similar content to Photon? By the way, I want to see what's in this box. Something showed up for me today. Oh, if you're in New Zealand, then these are illegal to you guys, aren't they? Oh boy, that is exactly as big as I was hoping it would be. This is when I put in my little Mercedes. Oh, look at that. Whoa. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be amazing. This should be able to get me up to 80 clicks. I'm gonna fire this bad boy up right now. I wanna see, I wanna hear it. Look at the size of this chunky boy. Wow. It's not very fast, but it's definitely got a bit of torque. I think this is actually meant to run at 24 volts. I might have to get a different ESC. $24. Yeah, that's 24 volts. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a 24 volt ESC for that, and I'll have to use a boost converter to run it. Oh my god. Yeah, this is definitely gonna run my Mercedes. My RC car. Wow, that's a chonky boy. Where'd the box go? Is there a manual for it? Wow, that is chonky. Okay, that's gonna go to my RC parts kit. All right, so now back to what I was doing. Let's see here. Ah, there it is. So I'm gonna make a mount now for this bad boy. Got a little I2C here as well. God, it really bothers me right now that I don't have my breadboards. They're in one of the bins over my desk somewhere. Alright, so first of all, will this fit? Just nice. So this was a failed attempt to make a an actuator arm for my servo, or for a Z servo that I was putting on my little Mercedes, and I ended up not needing it actually, so kind of worked out. There we go. All right, so let's see here now. It's gonna be a nice little board when it's done. I'm very excited. So I need to go a size bigger, and I think I've got my, where the heck are my drill bits? There it is. Yeah. I'll try this at home. Out. There we go. I think I'd say that this is coming along nicely. Yes. Yeah, you can even see the little marks on here from where I was marking it. So I'm just going to put these little legs on here just so I can mark where this is going to be and then drill the holes. Very efficient space usage, I would say. I do say so myself. There we go. And I'll just take this like so. And I want it actually closer here, I think. There we go. Nice. Alright, so now I need that again. Take this little bad boy here. By the way, I usually use DeWalt, but I was really happy with these tiny tools for Milwaukee. So I've been using these on my bench for a while, and I'm really impressed. They're just so small and, you know, it's a good form factor for me. And I've 3D printed holders for these guys. This is the other one I've got over here. This is actually supposed to go in this order. This one goes over here. And then my Dremel tool, my rotary tool here, goes in there as well, like so. So it keeps everything nice and organized, right? Alright, so this is all printed now. And I think, how am I going to do this? This is not actually going to work. Now, I do love these brass ones, and it actually should be brass for something that's strong, or something that's going to be doing what it's doing. Let's see. Not quite. So I think I'm just going to use these guys here, and then I can screw it in. Screw it. Screw it good. Do-do-do-do-do. Bam, bam, do-do-do-do-do. My brain is suggesting that I hydrate. This, I think, is a 750 milliliter glass, by the way. It's actually a jar for putting like cookies and stuff in, but it's my new glass because I drink a lot. I try to get about 3 liters in of water every day. I gotta fornicate this hole. There we go. Alright, now for the screws. I can still smell magic smoke, by the way. It stinks. Even though I got my air purifiers on. And I think I've got something I can use for this. I'm not sure if I'm going to mount it like that or like that. Either way. Let's grab my standard Phillips. Oh, looks like my candle is running out of wick. It's gonna suck. And you know, something which I hate, it's just literally by design, is that they've got those stupid little, you pay 30 bucks for a candle and you can't burn the bottom portion. I know it's partially a safety feature, but God, it's annoying. There we go. That's nice and secure. Cool. I think this will work for my terminal block. You know what? Do I have a fork? I do have a fork position. Why don't we just do this? Screw it. I can do 2 Wagos on here, like so. Why not? Let's see now. Now, I'm not sure if hot glue will actually hold this. I'm not sure crazy glue would hold it. I'm pretty sure this will, though. This stuff is gummy and awesome. I think it's made by 3M, I'm not sure, but it's like the super uber gummy tape. It is wonderful. Oh my god. There we go. And cool. Now a little trick here, by the way, is I'm actually shearing this against the steel surface that is the little bottom plate there. So it helps you get a nice cut. And I'm not even going to throw this out, by the way. I'm going to stick this on here because I could probably use that little piece somewhere else. This should hold these bad boys real nice. Probably better than those plastic cap stands or standoffs that I used. Hey Daniel, is this boring content, by the way? I'm curious. I don't know. I'm literally asking. Hopefully, this will stick real well. It's kind of flexible, which makes me a little uneasy, but whatever. There we go. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. So that should be plenty for our 12-volt bus. Now I want to designate one positive and one negative, so I'm just going to do that. So we're going to go positive, negative. And there goes my candle. There we go. Can you guys actually hear the 3D printer in the background? I'm not sure. I'm going to use my Sharpie paint pen here for my color designations. There we go, positive, negative. C'est parfait. C'est parfait. And now I can get these guys in here. I'm gonna go in order. I feel like this should go under. So, there we go. There we go. Realistically, I could put this little guy on here, but it is backwards, so if I'm going to use that, I got to get it out of there and fix it. Stupid everything. Put the appropriate designations on here. You can't hear the printer. Okay. There. Yeah, that works. I like that. And once it's on there, it is not coming off. And I don't think that's a plug. So I'll have to... There we go. Alright, so that's there now. So now I can tidy these little wires up. I think what I'm going to do... I can just... Maybe I'll zip tie all this together. No, you know what? I'm going to get in shit if I use zip ties on here, because you can't use zip ties if you're a technician. You have to use Velcro. So I'll use some Velcro, which I never throw out, by the way. I use it forever. So when I'm done with a project or I have extra pieces lying around, I just stick them up here. Alright. So there we go. Let's do this one right here. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And now for this, how shall I orientate this? What should I do about this little problem here? I'm wondering. I could anchor that right. No, it's going to be right in the way of the HDMI ports, though. That might be nice like this. And then I can... Yeah, that works. And I'll just add this to the harness that I've made over here. Make it all tidy. Cleanliness is next to godliness, they say. Mind you, I don't want to be a god. That would be a horrible situation. Can you imagine the responsibility you'd have? I feel guilty all the time. Hey, please help us. We're all dying. I don't know what to do. Actually, you know what? This will work even better. Let's roll that down like so. Oh, that's pretty. And then we'll take this guy here. And voila. There we go. Okay, so that's set. Alright, we've got our basics here. I'm just going to throw an extra little piece on here because I did trim that. So this will just ensure that we have proper adhesion. It's not going to come loose. There we go. So that looks nice. Adhesion? I don't know. What's the appropriate designation for that? There. Alright, that's way tidier. Okay, so now I should do something to simplify the power input here. Oh, I almost forgot. I should add speakers, because I do want to be able to test audio. So I will actually add a little speaker to this. And I wonder if the Raspberry Pi 4, it looks like it's 3-position. It says AV on the side. Let's check that actually. B1/8. Now let's see what the audio connector is. Oh, so it does composite video as well. That's kind of neat. But we don't need composite video. So that means I'm actually going to have to use a special connector on that. Because it's TRRS. So, what do we have here for TRRS? I might actually have a TRRS AV cable. Got lots of TRS cables actually. So I guess we get to figure out the audio part now. I might have to move over to video capture shortly for this thing, because I might actually just finish this off. But, I don't know if this actually has all 3 cables in it. Makes me nervous about cutting it. I'm sure this one does. We'll just use this one. So since I don't need all of this, I'm going to put speakers on here. Let's put the speakers over here. There we go, just like so. That way I can tidy it all up. Do 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 do. Wow, those are some minuscule wires inside of there. There we go. Alright, so we've got our wires now. So now I need to go on the Raspberry Pi page. You know what, I don't know if these speakers will actually... I don't know how loud I can get them off of a device. So, let's try something here. What? Huh? Hi. What? I don't know. I thought you and Ty were hanging out. Huh? Okay, well, Codell's hasn't been here. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's test these speakers out. So standard 3 pins should work. All right, thanks, buddy. All right, let's tin these. And now I'm gonna check and see if these guys are loud enough when I plug them into a device for audio. Because then, if they are, sweet, I'll just mount the 2 speakers on the board. And if not, I'll have to get a mini amplifier for it, but whatever, it'll be kind of fun. I wonder if a soldering iron can ignite one of these. Nope, barely. Although that was probably a shitty wick anyway. I'm gonna call that wick John. We'll call it John Wick. Alright, here we go. If you don't have a third hand, this works great. Nice.
It was.
Okay, so now I just need a device that has a 1/8" connector on it that I can connect to, like my cell phone. It just so happens these were abandoned into my possession, so this might just work. Let's see if I can get audio out from this. So I'm assuming this is going to be my common, and this is going to be right and left. Where is my cell phone? The cool thing about having audio from this would be that I could like use any horn I want. I can pre-program stuff. I can do two-way communications. What? Well, don't sleep in it.
I'm not sleeping. I'm leaning in to grab something and I'll smack up the fucking light. I did it 3 times today. I was like, I gotta pick up something. Boom. Constantly.
Here we go. Let's use another YouTube video. Then I don't have to worry about copyright, I hope. Let's see here. We'll do this and red. I can't hear nothing. I'm just gonna try Spotify. Nothing. I think I might actually need a different speaker. I do have this one here. This one might actually work. There we go. So we'll go mono. That'll be left. And oops. And ground. Just as quiet. Alright, so let's just use this speaker. Because then that way I can reserve these awesome little bad boys for my projects. Alright, which I'm sure that I'm going to need amplification now that I think about it. So I'll have to look at a small amplifier board, which I'm sure I can get from the Raspberry site. Are you fresh? There we go. Alright. Yeah, sorry, I'm focusing, so I can't think of what else to say at the moment. Asbestos? What are you guys talking about? The Basement? There's no asbestos left. I took it all out. Nah, because asbestos doesn't make your nose run. That's molds and mildews. And there's nothing really bad down there anyway, because I've already gone through the whole basement and I'm paranoid, so... Let's try this one now. Hopefully they follow the same configuration. Here we go. Alright, so that's that. And then this one should be right. It is most certainly... Oh, maybe... No. So it's not red. Probably going to be this other one. I really wish that they would follow designations like a standard, but when these guys throw these cables together, they really don't care. That's why we get it so cheap. Let's see if that does it now. Looks like red's for a button or something. Yeah, I would definitely say that green is the other one. Cool. All right, we got it. All right, so that means that the red is not one that we're going to use. We don't need it. This is probably going to be video on the Raspberry, I think. I think it's video. So we will use just these two. I believe that this is left. So what I should actually do is twist these guys together like so. There we go, and then clean that a little bit. Need a bit of flux. There we go, and now the solder should stick. There we go. Now for one final test. Perfect. All right, we've got our audio cable now. So this is going to go on positive. And this one is going to go on to negative. There we go. We've got a speaker now. So we've got the speaker. So we're basically, at the end of this, I'm going to have like one of those little electronics teacher sets, but this is going to be for robotics. You know, I should fix this later. I could fix this later. But, yeah. There we go. Alright, that's on there now. I can plug this into the audio jack now, so now I've got my audio. Nice. And I think I'm going to have to anchor that somehow. I think I know how I'm going to do that. Yeah? It's starting to snow yet? Is it starting to snow yet?
No.
Check the radar, see what's happening. Do it, slave. Prefer not to. Alright, we're gonna do a little bit of hot glue work here, so I'm gonna get out the special hot glue torch. Womp womp. There we go. Hot glue is... Ah, see you later, Daniel. Thanks for coming. Yeah, as I said, in the lazy, boring stream, I'm not doing anything exciting. I'm literally just tinkering, just making stuff, so... That wind is getting violent out there. There we go, and one more. Cool beans. Alright, so that means that this is essentially done. I don't have my breadboard on here yet, but now I can essentially fire this guy up and it's going. Now, I was thinking about adding a barrel connector, because a barrel connector would make things a lot easier, so maybe I will do that. No, I label everything in my drawers. My friend, where do you go? Barrel connectors with terminals. Where are you? Terminal barrel connectors.
Oh, I love messing with ya.
What you do?
Messing with Mitch.
Messing with
It's
Mitch.
just so easy.
Oh, it really is. He's not very smart. Huh? Here we go. This will be my power connector. I'll just stick it right over here. Yeah, this will give me plenty of terminal space. There we go. Got some of this rail. So let me just mark this off. What are you doing? You pervert. Really? I got plenty of space back here that's being wasted, so I'll just use this. And in hindsight, because I'm just kind of winging it, I could have waited to put that connector on there, so... Let me get the jigsaw. I just grabbed one of my favorite tools in the whole wide world. Oh, I have no idea if anybody's watching or not, but there we go. It's kind of a boring day, isn't it? A boring day for a boring video. You're just hanging around doing things. There we go. I could cut this with the Dremel, but this is way cleaner and I don't get as much dust in the air. So, let's see here. Move this aside for a second. And of course, I'm going to have to sweep up after this. Or where's my mini vac? Where's my mini vac? I usually have my mini vac at hand, but it is not. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now I gotta pull this up and put this here. But I guess before I do that, I should put my two little terminals on here. My one for my... I need one barrel connector and a switch. And that'll be my on and off for this. And I think that's it for this. And let's see here. C'est parfait. Alright, so now I can move this aside for a second again. And let me get my vise. Alright. What if that'll get me demonetized? Oh yeah, this isn't a monetized video. Get a strike for whistling a song. Because, you know, YouTube is like that, isn't it? People get in trouble for the silly... You know what I really found annoying? Is, you go... I left Facebook for, you know, because it was just getting to be a very ugly place, if you know what I mean. But, bullying and homophobic activity and stuff just gets ignored for the most part. And, yet... silly stuff gets punished. And so, like, I had my account suspended one day for something I posted I think it was 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. It was ridiculous. It was a tent going down a river. And what it was it said in the caption, like it was a floating tent. So it was like a boat with a tent on it. New comfortable raft tent or something like that. And somebody had changed the caption to say, what was it? Yet another way to die in the wild or something like that. And that got me penalized, and I was not very happy about that. I couldn't fight it. And also, from previous era, I had posted a funny Charles Manson post that had, or no, it was Jeffrey Dahmer, sorry. Jeffrey Dahmer was eating a sandwich, and he says, "This doesn't taste like Five Guys." And so that also got me in trouble on YouTube, and I was just... this is just ridiculous, you know, so... And with all the bullying and harassment and homophobic activity on there, I just said, so yeah, screw it. I'm done with this. So I got off of there because I was the one getting punished when other people were pulling all sorts of nasty bullshit. So I just thought, you know, this is a stupid platform. Okay, so we're going to call that 26. Half of 26 is 13. Look about half. There we go. All right. Let's do this now. There we go. Set. Chaos ensues. Everything's a mess. All right. There we go. I like these carbon steel bits. They're nice. I actually do own a drill press, by the way, like a little tabletop one. But I've gotten used to being hands-on with everything. There we go. One. And where's my bit tray? I do have a bit tray around here. Oh, there it is. This has the other carbon steel bits in it. That's what I'm gonna use for this. Let's see here, YouTube. I was gonna poke my head on the channel here and see if there's actually anybody watching me right now, just out of curiosity, not out of vanity. So this is a very boring video. Let's see here, let's fix it. There we go. I was gonna poke my head on the channel here and see if there's actually anybody watching me right now, just out of curiosity, not out of vanity. This is a very boring video. One watching, me. Cool. Well, that means that I can shut up because there's nobody out there watching, so I don't have to try to fill dead air, so I'm just gonna be quiet and continue working. Nice. what I hate about these drills. Lithium stuff. And that not go as well as planning, so let us. How am I going to anchor this? This definitely needs to be clamped a little bit better. How am I going to clamp this now? I need tighter clamps. Well, that should work. Slow as she goes. Ding. That's ding. Who's ding? Who's doing stuff? Oops. All right, there we go. I have to sweep up in a minute. That's almost the perfect size. I think I need one more little step. But will one step more be too much? Let's see now. I think one more is what I need. Aha, there we go. That should fit just fine. Nice. Perfect. Okay. This little guy here. Alright, I need to clean this up now, which means very delicately vacuuming up all the steel that I have just filed everywhere. I'm gonna drill away. I like to vacuum up all of my drill shavings rather than sweeping them, because if I sweep them right off the hop, I'm gonna scratch the floor. So at least this way I can get everything up without causing any damage. I really like my walnut floors. There we go. Okay, this can go away. My buddy's sitting on it. Oh, there we go. I think almost everything can go away now. I'm pretty much done. All right. Do a little tidy up here. Yeah, let's do a little tidy up and then I can finish everything off. There we go. Got any? That way. This can go away. I don't need this anymore, so this can go away. I don't need my calipers anymore. They can go away. Generic blue calipers. Everybody's got them, right? Alright, what's left? I gotta grab that from down there, and then I can solder the last little wires on here. This can go over here. This can go over here. Oops. My bad. Ah, I wrecked one of my favorite cables. Alright, last stages. Okay, so I am going to need... Whoops. To shit myself. No, I'm kidding. There it is. I think it's these center two right here. Woof. I think I'm rotting inside. Nice. make that easier. Let's place this on here now. This will be my power input for my little lab. There we go. Alright, so now, you know what? I put away that bench vise a little bit too fast. That'll come in handy to solder this. That wind is just nuts out there. At least it's something. It's kind of boring. Boring weather. Winter, not a good winter. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to need red and black coming off of here. Going over to there, but we'll figure that out in a second. So if my black will come straight off and go into here. So this one's long enough. And then my red needs to be just a little bit longer, and that has to be, that will not be long enough, so I'll have to cut any red. No problem. We'll get this set up first. Alright, so let's do this. Turn on the soldering iron. Now, if only I knew what I did with my solder. Oh, there it is. Solder, whatever. I remember these switches melting at like 300. All this Chinese stuff is really low quality. Like almost 3D printed. Let me just stick that right here for now, and I just need to double check which one. I think this is my center pole right here. So let's jump this over like so. There we go. Did I put my strippers way a little bit too early? I think they're over here. There we go. Now we just need a nice long positive lead. a lot of this stuff can start going back because I'm pretty much done. I guess it's fully charged now, so I can put this back on the shelf over here. Boom. I have to be so careful and slow with these connectors because if you're soldering onto these cheap switches from China, they have a tendency of melting. So there we go. This is all done. And this can be mounted. And I just realized a fatal flaw. My SD card's right there, but it does not matter. In fact, I will probably put an SD card extender on here and put it out front here so that I can just put them in like little cartridges. Kind of handy. Okay, so now I need to lift this because this is not going to work now in this mode. I'll have to bring this around like so. Ah, that'll work perfectly actually. I do see so myself. Oh yeah, don't need that. There we go. Very nice. Awesome sauce. Oh, I want to test this actually first. Let me just hook this up to 12 volts. And there's my 12 volt. And then I can finish the stream and clean up. Alright, so let's see here. I'm gonna plug this in here, and I'm gonna grab a multimeter. Alright, let's do this. Beauty. She is done. Done like chicken. Beauty. Now I can take all these neat little bits of wire and put them over here. And that's the stream. So as I said at the beginning of the stream, this is going to be a boring, lazy Sunday stream. I don't know how to do streams really. I just I figure if I'm going to be doing something dull that's going to take me a long time, there's no point in me making a video about it really. I might as well just stream it, and then I saved it on here DVR style so that it can be used, I guess, or watched again. So the idea is that I just came on here, I did this build, and anybody who was bored enough to watch me do it, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave it on the channel as one of my live streams, and you guys can watch it later. So if you join me, thank you for joining me. Thanks JD and Daniel for joining me on the stream. If you didn't, then yeah, feel free to just set it for 5 times or whatever, because I'm literally just building this, okay? And then just, you know, do what you need to do. Just, yeah, pick up the fun parts that you want to watch. But essentially this is done now, so I've got my barrel connector input, so I can connect it to a battery or connect it to my power supply. I've got my PWM interfaces right here. I've still got a hat interface right here, which I can use for another hat, I guess. Got drive motor, servo here, specifically for the purposes of checking my left and right, and I've got a speaker over here. So this is so that I can test my robotics programming and stuff and get used to it. And in doing so, learn how I can migrate to using Raspberry for robotics and that, like everybody else seems to be doing. Okay, so anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and if you made it this far, which you probably didn't because I checked and there's like 0 viewers right now. Cool. Anyway, thanks, guys. We'll see you later.